Jean-Claude Van Damme, his astrology. I was watching a movie called The Quest last night. And I knew it. I knew the guy was going to have what I'm about to describe in this video. And put his chart up here on the screen. And I really want to get a better setup, but I just don't know how to do it right now. And I don't have time. So for now, this is what we got. And he's a Libra rising and a sun in Libra in the first house. Now that I didn't expect. And his moon is in Virgo. So we do have the birth time for him. Sun in Libra, rising in Libra, moon in Virgo. 26 degrees. But what I expected was this Mars. Mars is up there at the top of the chart, near the midheaven. It's in Cancer, but particularly because it's near the midheaven. And it's making an exact opposition to Saturn down there in Capricorn in the third. So Mars in the ninth, Saturn in the third, exact opposition. So we see this with a lot of fighters and athletes, this Mars, Saturn, and then Pluto's there too. Pluto is at 7 degrees Virgo. It's almost an exact sextile with Mars and almost an exact trine with Saturn. And I usually mention this, that I have the almost exact aspects. I have the same combination between Saturn, or a similar combination between Saturn, Mars, and Pluto. And just a little side note, that's the frustrating thing about astrology and being at least an astrologer like me. I typically only meet people when I do readings. Most of my readings are with people that are similar to me. And when you're trying to do as many readings as possible, that is somewhat problematic. But anyway, I also run into people when I'm doing these charts. I'll come up, when I'm doing these charts, I come up with people that have a lot of similarities to me. But anyway, there's that Mars, Saturn, Pluto. And let's see what else. He has that first house sun. I also have a first house sun. But that Libra, so Libra's ruled by Venus. It's kind of throwing it off a little bit, which I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain it away. And it makes me think of Carlos Alcaraz, the famous tennis player, who has, I forget what his rising is, but he has Mars on the ascendant. So it's a lot different from having Libra with the sun there. Libra and Libra being ruled by Venus. And I think part of that is because he is a famous actor. So there is a lot of money involved. It is a show. I don't really know his full background. I'm assuming, I probably sound stupid by saying this, but he has to be involved heavily in martial arts, just in general. But I don't know. So that's how I'm explaining that. And before I get into anything else, back to this Mars in Cancer. Oh, Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Capricorn in the ninth and the third. The movie I saw was The Quest, and I was trying to watch Mortal Kombat. I was trying to steal the new Mortal Kombat, but I couldn't get it, and this popped up on my YouTube, and it's almost like a better, more real version of Mortal Kombat. So why did I say all that? Because it's like him being left on an island in Tibet or something to learn how to fight, and I don't know the whole story because I was half asleep, but it's just this ninth house stuff, this idea of traveling and being in this foreign Asian country. As a Westerner, that's what you think of when you think of this Mars in the ninth, going over to the west or the east to learn the ancient art of war and fighting. And he does have this North Node and South Node in Pisces and Virgo as well. So I'm associating Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo with this idea of traveling to foreign lands for a purpose. It definitely would be for a purpose when you consider the strong Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. And Pluto is there with the North Node as well. The Moon is there in Virgo. So you think of this Moon, you think of family and home, and it's moving away from I don't know, it would be interesting to see some of his story. I should have brought that up as well. But possibly, going somewhere, going to these places, changing home, being kind of torn away from your home, having to go somewhere else. But Virgo, for the purpose of work. Like, I'm thinking of this movie now. For the purpose of doing some type of work. And it's more like, it's kind of like spiritual work, this Virgo. Think of Virgo as being that sign of humility and service. And I think the martial arts, this is something that I really need to take more seriously, especially as I get older. The martial arts for people like him and myself are a spiritual, or can be a way to spiritualize your life. I forget what they call it in yoga, what it is, which version it is, but yeah. So anyway, this guy would be, this chart would describe someone who would do well with that. By the way, so you can see that in the chart, you can see that in yourself, and looking at charts like this guy, really, you can really start to see for yourself when you see other charts of people that have similar charts to you, you can start to see and hopefully find the best way to spiritualize your life, what works for you. And that's what I see when I see this chart. I'm like, man, I really need to stick with the physical stuff and take it seriously. But anyway, he has this Neptune here in the first as well, looking at him being an actor. He has Venus and Scorpio with Mercury. So we see this Venus-Mercury a lot. I mean, Venus and Mercury are always kind of close together, but there's pretty close 6-degree orb in Scorpio. So this guy is going to be, the idea of him being a fighter. Scorpio ruled by that Pluto, coming back to that Pluto-Mars. Someone who has that intensity. Because really good fighters, this is what I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, some people they're never going to be a good fighter. Even if they have the skill, if they don't have this Scorpio, the Scorpio person's going to annihilate them every time. And this guy has it. That there's intangibles you can't really measure. Jupiter's in Sagittarius too, as well. So lots there, and it's in the third house. More of this idea of religion, spirituality, 3rd, 9th, 12th. The moon could be in the 12th. We could say the moon's in the 12th. The Pisces, Virgo. Uranus is in Leo, the sign of creativity. Think of acting as well. And Uranus, this is in Leo. This guy was a unique and special person, for sure. Especially to be such a famous actor, but then at the same time actually pretty much actually embody in his real life what he does on stage. And that's the way I interpret that Uranus there in Leo. In the 10th, what he's known for. This guy is a genius for what he does. What else? Interesting here, I'm kind of just making this up or thinking that the Aries on the 7th house cusp, would these be the kinds of people that he meets, that he comes across, having maybe emotional, because Mars rules the 7th house there, it's in Cancer, having these emotional encounters with other people. And that's what you think of, fighting. A really good fighter with all this Scorpio, would have not just be a fighter or fight people, but they would have these intense meetings with other people, intense psychological battles, potentially. He's got Uranus making a sextile to the sun. Exactly. So we see more of that. And the moon. The moon is in the almost same degree. So, and it's in the degree of the midheaven. So he's got a lot of aspects to Uranus. More of this idea of him being a special, unique person. He even has that Uranus-Jupiter. See, this is what I'm talking about. I have Uranus-Jupiter in a conjunction in my chart. He's got it in a trine. And, we're looking at forward-thinking people. People that are usually very intelligent, into technology. You think of someone who's really good at martial arts, or someone who would be like a genius in that type of work. Whatever they do, they're usually looked at like they're a genius. Even though I wouldn't really look at it like that, but that's what most people would look at. They would look at it as a person being very smart or being much different from everybody else. And that's what I'm talking about. You just meet a lot of people with that Jupiter-Uranus aspect, or Jupiter-Uranus aspect. His Pluto's in the 11th as well, so where he's coming from. Simultaneously, where he's coming from and where he's headed. There in the 11th. This idea of being someone different. See if there's any squares. Is there any squares? Maybe Jupiter. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Went a little bit long. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.